It's now a global workplace concern. 2/3 of full-time employees say they have experienced this at some point in their careers. WHO has classified it as a syndrome and an occupational phenomenon. And it costs companies in the United States nearly $300 billion in lost revenues every year. So, what is this serious problem that we are talking about? We are talking about burnout. More specifically, workplace burnout. Burnout, as the word suggests, is a state of complete exhaustion. A state where a person has depleted all mental and physical resources that kept them ticking. It is a condition categorized by emotional exhaustion, excessive cynicism, reduced productivity. To understand burnout in some detail, let's follow the journey of Aarti, who started off as an enthusiastic, high-achieving employee but has lately been struggling. These are the 5 stages of burnout. Burnout doesn't hit suddenly. It happens slowly, in stages. Let's look at the 5 stages over which burnout sets in. The honeymoon stage. Aarti was reveling in the challenges her work put forward. She would work through breaks, stay up all night to perfect tasks, and would always say yes to more work. There were days when the workload would overwhelm her, but she always pushed herself to meet targets. The onset of stress. Although she wasn't as enthusiastic as she was initially, Aarti would still get through work, doing what's needed. She seemed to have picked up some unhealthy habits along the way, like binge eating. She knew these habits were bad, but she would justify them saying she works hard and deserves a break. The chronic stress. The physical and emotional symptoms of her stress became more pronounced. She had become easily irritable. She was withdrawing from friends and family as she did not have the energy to spend time with them. The burnout. Aarti is always tired now, experiencing chronic headaches and digestive problems, and has become the total opposite of what she was when she joined work. She is now disillusioned and pessimistic. She feels depersonalized. Depression sets in, accompanied by an inner emptiness and a loss of interest in even getting out of bed. If Aarti doesn't get help now, she will get into habitual burnout, a state where burnout becomes part of her lifestyle, spilling over to other aspects of life, like relationships. If Aarti's state of burnout becomes chronic, she is at a risk of mental and physical collapse. It's more common and alarming than you think. One might think that Aarti's condition is unique. However, workplace burnout isn't an isolated or uncommon phenomenon. Job stress and burnout contribute to 550 million workdays lost each year. Women are more likely than men to suffer from burnout. In 2020, 32% of women said they were burned out at work, while only 28% of men reported the same. Millennials, 59%, Gen Z, 58%, and Gen X, 54% shared similar burnout rates, whereas baby boomers, 31%, had significantly lower rates. So, what causes burnout? Those who are overburdened with work for an extended period or more prone to stress are at risk of burnout. There are people with specific personality traits who are also at higher risk. Burnout is classified into 3 types, depending on the trigger. Overload burnout, caused by unsustainable workload and lack of rest. Under-challenged burnout, when the job is monotonous and lacks real challenge. Neglect burnout, when work has no real sense of purpose. At the workplace, burnout is also triggered by a lack of control when it comes to job-related decisions, unclear job expectations, a lack of social support, a hostile or dysfunctional workplace. So, how can we help someone like Aarti? It's important to spot the warning signs of burnout early to prevent it. If an individual has hit the burnout stage, they ought to take a break from work to focus on self-care and recovery. Likewise, it is important to engage in activities that can mitigate the risk of burnout. A doctor or therapist will be able to guide people with burnout by suggesting structured programs that involve rest, lifestyles, changes, and more. So, how can companies help? Well, they can do a lot. A whopping 36% of employees state that their organizations have nothing in place to help stave off employee burnout.